Well, here we are then for some more F1 My Team, and today we're here for what is going to be one of the most crazy races I think you're ever going to see. If you want to see the start of the race, then skip to about 5:45 for the race rundown and so on and so forth. But today, guys, we're here for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you're new to the channel, then hit the red subscribe button. It really helps me out. We do daily content on the channel and My Team pretty much every other day, more or less. And of course, plenty of league racing action as well. And most recently, Portimao gameplay for the Portuguese Grand Prix, which I'll leave linked up in the top right. Now, in the background, you can see we are currently changing components. And you can see the turbocharger is red. We had an engine failure in the last race. We was leading the French Grand Prix with 2 laps to go. The car blew up. If you haven't seen the previous episode and you want to see how that happened, then go check it out, linked in the top right. But as you just saw in the background, we had some rain forecast for qualifying and the race. For some reason, I didn't get the full weather forecast this weekend, so I just kind of used that previous screenshot as a reference. This weekend, though, you can see plenty of teams bringing upgrades to the Austrian Grand Prix. As we get through the practice programs, you can see here we actually scored maximum points in every single program. It was absolutely perfect, 5 out of 5 in all of the programs. And yeah, with that we move into qualifying, so we're going to see how the session goes, but I do believe it's going to be a tricky one because this race and also the next one, which is Silverstone, are a bit of a bad run of races for me. You know, the last 2 seasons we've struggled at this track and also Silverstone, so I'm not expecting any miracles, to be honest. But jumping into Q1, we're going to end our first time lap here, and I was going to go for consecutive back-to-back push laps, but I encountered a bit of traffic in the form of Mazepin, who was starting his lap, so I actually decided to back off, go for a quick cool-down lap and go again. I had just about enough fuel in the car, and on my second lap we're currently P13 ahead of both Alphas, and we're nearly 4 tenths up now, making our way towards the end of the lap through the final corner and now running up to the line. Currently P14, and we stay P14, but we do improve by 4.5 tenths, and that margin of improvement should do the trick. If you look behind Giovinazzi, he's about 4.5 tenths behind us, so we're not going to go out again. But I want to turn your attention to something here. So if you look at Verstappen, P1, his sector 3, 17.8. We're doing 18.7. We are 9 tenths off Verstappen, and I've mentioned it in previous episodes, but I think it's time for a change. So from now on, starting the next race, we're going to change the difficulty in qualifying. We're going to drop it down to about 108, maybe 109. Depends on some tracks, which ones are better for me, which ones are worse. For Silverstone, it'll be 108, and I may even go to short qualifying because the discrepancy in lap time is getting far too big now, and I'm not able to compete, you know, in qualifying, which is just ridiculous because even on a perfect lap, I'm dropping a full second in a single sector, which is ridiculous. So yeah, we jump into Q2. You can see in the background the rain started to fall, and again the weather forecast was broken for me, so I didn't know when the rain was going to arrive, but it's now falling, and I think we're the second car on track in terms of position for a lap time. So I think George Russell is the only car ahead of us right now on track, as we get a lovely slipstream here from Rosberg, who's leaving the pit exit on mediums. And yeah, we're going to be just behind George as Rosberg almost takes us out there up the inside at turn 3. Luckily, no contact made. And in theory, we should have the second best track conditions after Russell, so everyone else behind us could be in trouble and could be looking at worse conditions. Now, the lap itself wasn't too bad. I was being a little bit cautious because of the conditions. I could feel some understeer kicking in and also a bit of oversteer in certain corners. So I just wanted to get a half decent lap done and get across the line and kind of, you know, book it in and make it official. Making our way into the end of sector 3 now, the final 2 corners of the lap, turns 9 and 10. Nose in, super aggressive over the curbs, and then the final corner, 5th gear, wait for the DRS and then run it up to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 3.7, which is quite slow and away off the pace, and unfortunately it's not worked out for us. You can see now we've dropped down to P16. Everyone else went out after us in the wet, like the mixed conditions kind of thing, and they still managed to set some pretty insane lap times, which I can't match. And yeah, we went back out on a fresh set of softs. We messed up our first lap by locking up in turn 3, and then I tried again, but at this point the track was just getting a bit too wet and I was losing lap time in this middle sector, and I just quickly realized game over. You know, it was just not possible to improve. So Yeah, again, a bit of a shame, and it goes back to the Q1, thing I was mentioning. Verstappen done a 1 minute .00 in Q1, which is unbelievable. We finish Q2 in P16, and the worst thing is the majority of cars actually got the lap time done in the medium, which is like just pretty much, insult to injury at this point. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to make those changes moving forward because qualifying just isn't fun. I can't compete. The AI are just on a super, super insane level that I just don't know why it happens. But the faster the cars get with R&D, the harder it is to keep up with them. So, yeah, that's going to be it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race, though, because it's an absolute classic.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Nico Rosberg and Norris, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda, Gasly, Russell, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Vettel, Martinez, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi, Matsushita, Lundgaard, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Well, here we are then for the race. P16 after a pretty disappointing qualifying, and the trend of, the bad qualifyings continues. I think I'm going to change things heading into the next race at Silverstone, to be honest. But still, for this one, we're 16th and we've got work to do. Now, the race forecast is going to be interesting because rain is expected quite heavily all of a sudden in the second half of the race. So we'll keep an eye on the sky. I'm going to start on the medium tyre and hope to go straight onto the intermediates. That's kind of the plan here and why I'm going on that tyre. Fuel wise, we're going to go for 0.5, so not a lot more. I may even go actually a bit less because of the rain. I'm going to take a chance here and go negative 0.5, kind of, expecting rain to arrive. So let's see how that works out for us. Hopefully the mediums hold on pace-wise. And yeah, let's jump into it and let's try and secure some big points because after the last race and the DNF in France, we need those points. Right, this is it. This start is going to be key. 5 lights are on at Austria. And we're underway. Not a terrible start to say we're on mediums. Giovinazzi gets by, of course, he's on the soft tyre. Up to turn 1, we're going to have to just follow station here. We've got a car off the track there a little bit. That's Hamilton, who's sideways, so he's had a bit of contact through turn 1 possibly. Lots of too wide as we head up to the very complex turn 3 now, because you've got to try and spot a gap and decide where you're going to go as we tackle this roadblock. I'm going to try and get the cutback out of there, which works. We get the drive. It's going to be a drag race versus Stroll as we go down towards turn 4. We're going to try and get Lance at least and pick up 1 place. Going to get the traction down early, and there we go. We've got Lance for now. Giovinazzi getting a good start though, gaining a couple of places off the start, so we're kind of back where we started right now. But let's see how the race goes. Hopefully the pace is decent. There's already a few clouds in the air, which could be a sign the rain isn't a million miles away. Well, let's stay on board here. I feel like I might be able to pass Giovinazzi. We know about the Alpha and the Ferrari-powered cars not being the best. Track limits is going to be difficult. Strict corner cutting limits around here. Quite easily can get a penalty. Gio out of battery here. We may have a chance. Let's try and set this one up through turn 1 and up into turn 3. Lovely turn 1. Good exit. Here we go. I'm not going to drain the entire battery. We'll try and use a bit of the old slipstream to get this one done. Oh my god, never mind. Giovinazzi completely dive bombs Ocon instead. There's a bit of contact, and I have to be careful on the exit to not have too much contact there. I think I did just brush Ocon lightly with my front wing, but not enough there for big damage. Giovinazzi and Ocon still going at it. We have to be careful now. Stroll up the inside. It's all kicking off here, but Giovinazzi's made the move, and again he's gained another place. As we head into this corner, there's contact. Oh my god, Stroll has wing damage. That was so scary. Very close to a big crash there. I think Ocon has damage as well, or he seems a bit slow. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I've got no damage. Will Ocon, but yes he does, so he's got a wing damage. Just going to go very wide here, but we've survived. One explosive start to the race. Let's try and close into Giovinazzi and get DRS if possible. as that will now be enabled. Lewis Hamilton down to P13 here. Has he got a problem? Maybe he may have got damage on this lap, I'm not quite sure. We'll get confirmation now if he pits, which he isn't. He's staying out, but I'd like to think maybe he's got some kind of wing damage, because for Lewis to be net P13, I know he's on mediums, but even still, that's a bit off the pace.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag up ahead as we get DRS and Giovinazzi.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part
Hold
of the
up.
track. No overtaking through
Hold the
yellow
phone.
flags.
It's a big one. What has happened? What has happened there? Oh my god. Oh my god. Multiple cars out of the race. Multiple cars out of the race. Safety car deployed. It's all gone crazy. An absolute car park in turn 1 has just happened. Wow. We're up to P8.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Watch your pace. We've been informed that the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
Wow, this race has kicked off to an explosive start. So rain in 15 minutes or so. The safety car's out. Damage to multiple cars. We're down to 17 runners from 22. Lando disqualified. Giovinazzi 5-second penalty. And we are now in the top 8 on mediums. What a start to the race. And this might help us extend our mediums to the pit stop phase.
Drop your speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty.
Yep.
Slow your pace immediately.
I'll keep an eye on it. We've got cars in the pit lane though, so I want to try and stay close to the delta because we may gain another place here. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This delta's going to screw me over here. I need to be careful. There we go. We've got a car in the pit lane here. That's Perez. We aren't going to jump him. So we're now P7. No! Oh my god. Thank god he was Ghost. Oh my god. He's not even on the minimap. That's why I didn't expect anything. I just took the corner like normal. Wow, that was scary. Safety car in this lap. Let's see how this goes. It's been a pretty long safety car. So we'll get the race back underway in lap 8. 17 cars remain. Just going to get a bit more tyre temp in these tyres before we get back on the way. I've done a bit of fuel burning so that we're still relatively light on fuel. Let's go ready for this restart. Let's see when Verstappen decides to pull the trigger, which is now. Away we go. Through the final corner. And back on the way.
The track is clear. Green flag.
Now those that are on softs are going to have to pit. So we're going to gain a few more places already once the pit stop window rolls around. So it's looking pretty decent for us right now. Let's just try and keep pace with these first lap and a half, 2 laps. While the AR run at full power. And then we'll see if we can make a few more moves on merit. But we've got Ricciardo just ahead of Gasly on mediums. So that's someone we need to try and look to get past. Verstappen, Bottas, Rosberg, and then a Ferrari, which I can't tell which one it is, but those are the cars that are ahead of us right now. Now, DRS is going to be enabled here, so the race will open up again. Perez keeping some pretty good pressure on me right now, but I'm able to keep him behind.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Now we'll see how DRS opens the race up a little bit. Verstappen running away out front. Hamilton, Bottas can't keep up really right now. Now we can have a look at trying to pass Pierre. So purple in sector 1. Let's see. Not quite able to find the traction as the clouds start to form here already. We could be looking at rain pretty soon.
We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
So there we go, literally on cue. I didn't even ask for that weather update. So I don't even think we're going to make it to the half race distance mark in the dry conditions, which would be lap 18. So this is the right strat. The question is, when will the guys on the softs pit? It's going to ruin their race, but that's what the AI usually do. The one who looks pretty strong is Perez behind me because he just pit during the safety car for another set of soft tyres. So Perez could be a big threat here. Either way, Leclerc is the first one to pit.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
I'll check that in a second, Jeff. Give me a second. What is this?
Okay, copy that.
Whatever. Here we go though. Look at the speed now as we close in on Pierre Gasly.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Not sure what that was. Normally you get that when you use a flashback, but I've not used flashbacks. Gasly on Ricciardo. Here he goes. We're going to just be patient here. Trying to get the cut back. It's important that we pass Ricciardo as he is on the same tyres as us. We go on the outside. Oh, what a move. Lovely. What a move. And I'm expecting Gasly to pit as well, so that's going to give us P4. in this race, and then Rosberg, Bottas and Verstappen should all be on mediums, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we're net P4 in this race, and we've got both cars in the top 3, which is huge. So let's push on now to try and get within a second of Rosberg, who's putting some pressure on Bottas here. And there we go, the rain is falling already. So I get a warning for track limits, already getting a bit of understeer from the rain starting to fall. I'm going to make sure the inters are selected because we're going to need those. Let's see then, it's all about timing and who's going to hit at the right time at this stage of the race. Perez is quite quick, I may have to let him go because he might force me to an error. He's actually closing on me here, so we're going to let him go. And I'll just try and stay within his DRS because he's much faster, especially now when the rain falls. He's going to be hard to keep behind on those fresh soft tyres. So let's just try and run with him for now. I don't think we're far away now from a crossover. Perez's rain light is starting to flash. I may have to take one for the team here and pit this lap if Rosberg doesn't pit because we don't want to stack.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
I'll say that, never mind. Let's see if Rosberg pits first of all. I can afford to go one more lap. We've got a gap behind, so if Rosberg does pit, which he does, I'm going to stay out. I'd rather not stack. We've got a gap behind.
Nico has come into the pits. He's in the pit lane now.
We've got DRS still, so I'm going to try and squeeze one more lap out of these tyres. Trying to wrestle this car back to the pits. There's a possibility Perez may have had a bit of a hold in the pits because Verstappen pit as well. So let's see, the first half of the first sector was okay, but now it's really gone the wrong way. Let's try and push though into this pit entry and get everything out of this. Oh, never mind, that's gone completely wrong. Gonna have to accept the L, I think. We're probably gonna be behind Perez still by quite a bit, but I gave it a shot. That's not speed. Nice and safe into the pits. Medium's on. Right, hoping for a nice quick stop here. Ideally, sub 2 seconds would be perfect, but let's see how it goes. Onto the jacks. Whoa, 1.8, I've got to say, that's good. And Perez actually, here he comes.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
This could be close. Well, not quite. Perez stays ahead, but I've got to say, I'm closer than I thought. Staying out one more lap wasn't a bad call. We'll have one lap fresher tyres, and we didn't really lose out. So we're net P5, Rosberg net P3, battling with Rosberg, with Bottas, sorry, for P2. Oh, I've completely just overshot that with cold tyres. So let's try and get back with Perez here and see if we can maybe pass him possibly. Car is absolutely flying right now. We feel great. Tyres feel good. I'm closing in on Perez. I'm about half a second a lap faster. Let's try and get within a second on this lap and then start to put some pressure on. But I'm faster pretty much everywhere at the minute. We've got a yellow flag, turn 4. Someone's had an issue. Someone's slowing down. Hopefully nothing disrupts our rhythm because I'm flying right now and I want to try and get past Perez if possible. But it looks like someone has pulled off and retired. Or is there an issue? It's a Ferrari. We've got about 10 seconds here, 15 seconds to try and pass Perez.
Some information on Leclerc. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
So Leclerc pulls over for Ferrari. His race is done as we run a bit wide through turn 1 there. Have to completely get out the throttle, otherwise I would have got another warning for track limits. But we are closing in on Perez. I'm a lot faster and I want to get past as soon as possible because there's a podium up for grabs here with this pace. Dare I say we could even win this race, but I think Max is a bit too far away. It doesn't help not having DRS though. Can't close in on Perez as much as I'd like. Right, this is it. We've set up the move through the final 2 corners. Let's use all the battery we have and try and get him up to turn 3. No DRS, but we won't need it. I've just got to get a nice clean run out of here, which we do. Have we got enough straight line speed to make this happen? Here we go, closing in on Perez. Up the inside we go. Job done. Coming through, mate. Not the cleanest of moves. I hit the inside sausage curb, so I ran a bit wide, but we've got it done. And that is also a bit of a block pass, which means Perez can't get the cut back. Let's go after Rosberg and try and get Bottas as well. But these are big points up for grabs after what happened to Hamilton earlier. Obviously, Bottas is the championship leader, and he's not fully on pace right now, so I think we can finish ahead of Bottas here today. That's a bit bullshit, I'm not going to lie. That's not really a warning, but we move. We can win this race. I am absolutely flying. I was 8 tenths faster than Rosberg on the previous lap. What about this lap? Let's find out.
Rosberg's next. Let's try to get through. The gap to the car ahead is 1.4 seconds. They're on old Inters. Their tyres are 9 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 10.1. You're gaining by 8 tenths. 8 tenths.
Another 8 tenths. I mean, that's a lot. Verstappen's only now just going out of turn 4, so we can definitely do this. Let's try and dispatch Schumacher here and get him out of our way ASAP. The rain has just picked up, by the way. In the last 60 seconds, we're now in heavy rain conditions. So let's see if that affects our pace or the AI's pace in any measure.
The rain looks like it's going to be getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track.
Okay, so we're going to have a little phase here, I think, of heavy rain, and then it's going to go back to the light rain. And Rosberg pits, and so does Bottas, and so does Verstappen. Are they going for full wets? Oh boy, I've not been called in for the full wets by the team.
Nico is just peeling off into the pits now. He's in the pits. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, here it comes. Wait for it. Here's the message. I'm going to get through turn 1 first. There it is. Full wets. Let's see, though. Let's see what happens.
Forecast suggests the rain is going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water. It's hard to say if Inters or wets are better right now.
We've done this before. I'm going to try and drive through this. Unless it gets really, really bad, like monsoon conditions. I mean, the rain is coming down quite a lot, but I can drive this still. So we're going to stay out for now. I might lose a little bit of time per lap, but we can stay on these Inters, which is what we want. This is working okay at the minute. Verstappen is gaining on me about half a second a lap or so, 6 tenths. But I can manage that over the next few laps. I mean, at the rate Verstappen's pace is, even if the race stayed like this, I don't think he's catching me until the end of the race. I really think it's going to be close for him to catch me anyways, and I think he's going to go back on the Inters. So we're just going to stay out and commit to this. I can make this work. We've still got tyre temps, which is important. So as long as the tyres have got temperature in them, we can drive this. Right, we've got Sainz and Gasly behind me who want to unlap themselves. So everyone's faster than me right now. Captain Verstappen is coming down quite a bit, to be honest, at this stage. So the wet tyre is definitely the way to go. But I'm going to commit to this. You know, we've gone this far. 7 laps to go. I'm going to try and hold on, man. I think we can do this still. I really do. Max is arriving. Oh!
We've been informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. The safety car is being deployed.
I've no idea what just happened. I'll have to watch back on a replay why that safety car got triggered, but this is huge. It gives us a couple of laps to survive. Just as Max was closing in, luck has gone our way, and we're going to get a couple of laps here for the rain to hopefully pass a bit.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, copy that.
I could care less, Jeff.
The rain is getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Full wets seem like the best tyre for now.
Anyway, that's what I mean. So Rosberg, I think, crashed. I think got wing damage. He was involved in the incident. He's still P4. He's not lost anything, so it's a free pit stop for him. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get a chance here for the weather to pass a little bit, and for the restart, we may be in a better position to fight back. So we're getting one more lap of safety car because the traffic hasn't fully caught up. So this has worked out beautifully for us. The rain's still on the heavier side. It's still coming down, but surely any minute now it will calm down. Okay, safety car in this lap. It's still pretty wet. I'm not even going to lie. I'm pretty much murdering my tyres now to get them nicely up to temperature. This is really difficult when it's full wet conditions, but this restart's going to be key. 2 lap cars between myself and Verstappen. Max will still have the edge in terms of performance, but let's go for the restart. Let's send it. Let's see if we can switch these tyres on and make them work. Back underway. Oh, the grip ain't great. Let's go though. Go, 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 go. Right. You can see that all the lap cars are getting out of the way for Max. Oh, the grip is very poor. This is going to be tough, man. If we can hold on to this, this would be historic. You can see Max closing in already.
Some information on Giovinazzi. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Giovinazzi out, down to 15 cars. And here is Max. He's getting close, but we'll keep him at bay for now.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
No, just go away.
Understood, copy that.
I'm going to commit to this. I've just done my mid-session save, and Sonoda has retired, so we're now down to 14 cars. But here we go then, on to the last lap of the race. It's me versus Verstappen versus Bottas. Can Rosberg get in the mix? Potentially passing any of the two. It's going to be full heavy rain conditions still for the last lap, so we're going to have to try and hold on here and use all of our intelligence to get this car across the line and make our car as wide as possible on this last lap of the race. Just tried to place the car in all the right parts of the track. Verstappen has had a good exit though out of turn 1. He's right on that gearbox here. He's going to get the run up to turn 3. We're going to have to try and commit on the brakes and hold on. On the inside we go. Oh, that's a bit of a squeeze. We lock up. Bottas has gone through, I think, but he's side by side with Verstappen, so we're going to keep trying to drive away here. Perez has passed Rosberg. I think we might have done enough there. Let's stay on board though. It's the last lap of the race. This win is what we should have had in the last race. Hopefully Bottas doesn't finish second. That would be ideal. But I think he is going to finish second by the looks of it. And now the rain has stopped. You could tell there's a few less droplets. So it's come at the right time just to take a bit of pressure off. Verstappen has re-overtaken Bottas for P2. And suddenly now the rain has almost stopped. And we've got the grip as we now make our way through the final couple of corners here. Strategy has paid off. What a performance. P16 to P1. We've done it. And this is a massive win for the championship.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
There it is, the race win we should have had in the last race in France. We get it today, P16 to P1, and also the best thing about this is a track that isn't one of my best ones in terms of, you know, the AI. Austria and the next race, Silverstone, are their strongest tracks, you know, in the midway part of the calendar. So the fact we've got the win here is really, really good for us, and it's going to massively help our title chances. Verstappen P2, Bottas P3, Perez P4 with the fastest lap, Rosberg P5. Bit of a shame considering he was batting for P2 most of the race. Right at the end he just dropped off a little bit, and I think he calls that last safety car. You guys would have seen that on the race replay. It's worth noting we are the highest scoring driver this weekend, and as a team we are also the highest scoring team because of the P1 and P5, which is great. Lundgaard P6 for Williams. What a recovery, and then everybody else is a lap down with Sainz, Gasly, Ocon and Ricciardo in the points, along with Matsushita missing out on the top 10, Stroll, Mazepin, Schumacher, and then everybody else retired from the race, which is absolutely crazy after that earlier car park. Now, after what is arguably the race of the series so far, we look at the driver standings and we are up to P4 with that race win. We overtake Lance Stroll, Rosberg up to P6 with that P5 here today. Bottas still leads, but the gap is now 58 points heading into the next race. Imagine if we'd had 25 more points right now, we'd be chilling, you know, quite comfortably in P3. Or actually no, we'd actually be we'd be P3, about 4 points behind Verstappen, so it would be a lot closer. In the Constructors though, we're P3 again, we overtake Aston Martin, we've got a nice healthy gap over them as well, so hopefully we can start to pull away and now start to try and overtake Red Bull and close in on Mercedes. Either way, we needed these points here today, a massive 1-5 finish. The next race is Silverstone, and Rosberg is going to have to carry me there because I'm usually not very fast. Anyway, let's get into upgrades and let's see what we can do. Anyways, race done, and in terms of the rivalry, we equal points with Bottas for the race, but we're 4 points adrift. It's a shame we DNF'd in France because otherwise I think we'd be equal on points right now, which is a bit of a shame. In terms of acclaim, we gradually move up a little bit, but no big changes here as always. And then the final question mark is going to be sponsor payouts and damages. You know, are we going to be okay? Are we going to be taking a bit of a hit? And the answer is full payout from all of our sponsors. So we scored all of the targets we needed to hit, so a nice bit of cash influx and a couple of damages from Rosberg's NW from that crash in the race. But besides that, a decent weekend. And yeah, let's move into upgrades. Now we are back in the office and we have a sponsorship renewal with Lupo Industries. Again, pretty good sponsor. I'm not really too concerned with, you know, that side of things. We bring in enough cash to make things work, so you know, we're a really well-run team, so I don't really have to concern myself with that part of the operation. Now with activities, we've got a bit of a break, 10 days until the next race, so of course we're going to go for a second driver performance review, which improves Rosberg's focus. To go with that, we're going to go for a funded team event to improve team morale with the upgrades that are going to be coming in. To add to that, I'm thinking a sponsor advertisement, and then we can squeeze in a sponsor event conference, whatever that is, so we'll just go for that as well. Now, R&D wise, I feel like we're going to be the top team very soon. Do we have any discounts though that are worth it? Because if not, there's no point rushing into an upgrade if it's not relatively discounted, in my opinion. Looks like there's not a lot going on right now on the engine. What about here? We've got the rotors 20% off, that's not too bad. We may go for that in fairness. Durability, we can go for that as well at some point. Can we afford the rotors? 1,500, yeah. Okay, let's go for that. Let's get on the car, why not? Let's improve the engine because we're slacking a little bit. So that's that done. And we can now skip ahead to the next race. Fingers crossed everything arrives and nothing fails. And it's good news, upgrades seem to have arrived. We had no issues on the production line. Let's have a look at the powertrain. And confirmation of the exhaust upgrade, which is the last of the engine power upgrades. So we've now maxed all of these out. So the engine is pretty much at peak performance. So yeah, we should be looking pretty decent right now. Either way, the next race is Silverstone. You guys know by now this is the best one for the AI. It's one of their strongest tracks. It's going to be a challenge. So tune in next time, and there'll be a couple of changes as well in terms of the qualifying format. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps me out. As always, a big shout out to the members of the channel. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. But that is it from me, and I'll see you all next time.